We are struggling to pay our bills. We are uncertain of where food will come from. We are worried about how we will sustain ourselves. Many of us are unemployed, and some of us are flat out terrified of what is to come. Is there a conclusion on the horizon, or is this only the beginning of a long-term battle with an invisible enemy?
From the lives lost to the jobs lost, COVID-19's contagious spread continues to wreak havoc in the workforce, from retailers to restaurants, all falling victim to the impact of this vicious virus.
In this we, I find myself. My story isn't unique, but it is a story that most can relate to. I no longer have a source of income, there isn't a job in sight, and the stress of maintaining my finances is all-consuming. My bills remain, and if anything, I've experienced a rise in unexpected expenses. Both my car and computer need to be serviced, and I recently had surgery. Everything comes at a price, and during these times, these prices are especially steep. This is only my experience, but there are others across the country who are being hit way harder.
I am a single mother. I have no money, no food, and I am trapped waiting for the Department of Labor to approve my claim.
Single parents who live paycheck to paycheck with very little savings. How do they cope? There are people who have worked at the same company for decades and have been laid off without second thought. Or even self-employed people who can't conduct business due to our country's lockdown. Small businesses are on life support. Workers from restaurants, hotels, airports, and retailers from coast to coast are jobless. The average American is scrambling to find any sense of financial security.
Cities across the country are bracing tonight for massive budget shortfalls. In New York City, the mayor says he's making wartime cuts. The government's small business fund has now run dry. Thousands of companies remain in limbo, shut out as they wait for a bitterly divided Washington to make a deal.
At the time of this recording, over 22 million Americans have filed for unemployment. 1 in 7 people have been uprooted from their jobs in 1 month time. These numbers are alarming, and many are in a state of panic. The government's decision to release stimulus checks to qualifying U.S. citizens is useful, but without a set date for the end of this pandemic, is any amount truly enough?
Heidi Julian owns her own dog walking business, and with her clients now working from home, she says she hasn't made any money in a month.
And I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills.
We just don't know. I think it's not knowing is what the problem is.
People are going to end up losing their homes, and, we don't know if we might end up being one of them.
For the millions of people who have applied for unemployment, some are living in fear. Some have waited for weeks just for a response on their application. A lack of financial security seeps into all areas of life. There are people with very little food or children to take care of. That leaves us with one question. What do they do?
Here's a teen balancing online schoolwork.
I'm on from 8 to 3 every day,
while delivering groceries and whatever else the most vulnerable need right now during COVID-19.
Although most of us are in mandatory isolation, we are connected through online mediums. Our number one course of action we can take at this point in time is to support those around us in any way we can. If you know someone in need of a resource, act out of kindness. Share a grocery or two with a neighbor, or send money to a friend struggling if you're able to. The best support we have comes from our communities coming together. That's in the form of friends, families, and the compassion of strangers. None of us are sure when this storm will end, but it's important that we weather it together.